Hi there, and welcome back to Settled Carlisle 68. I hope you enjoyed the intro. That was a video that I took whilst visiting the Settled Carlisle line a couple of weeks ago when the Royal Scot steam locomotive came through Ribblehead Station and then over the viaduct, and then I went on to do a bit of a tour in the area and get some inspiration for the scenery on the layout. So yeah, it's been about 5-6 weeks since the last video. There's been bits and bobs that I've done on the layout, no particular project. So we'll go through. I'll go over the layout just to show you what I've been up to. But what I've also done in the last few weeks, I've looked to purchase a new product. So as you've probably seen on my earlier videos, I've done quite a bit of static grass on the layout, and I've used the WWS Pro Grass micro applicator, which is fine for the larger areas, but what I was finding was I was struggling, particularly with the N-gauge layout, on some of the thinner strips of grass or some of the detailing. And then after watching Sam on Peaks 47 on his videos with the WWS detailer, it's an excellent piece of kit. So I bit the bullet and went out and purchased the Pro Grass detailer when WWS had a sale on, and as you can see, I've got the smallest attachment on there now, and it's a massive difference. I've not used this particular cap yet, the dispenser, but what I have used is this one. It comes with two, so that's about I don't know, a third of the size of the micro. Yeah, really good piece of kit, can't recommend it highly enough. Okay, so I just thought I'd give the Pro Grass detailer a bit of a trial on this area. So I'm looking to just put some dead grass, 4mm, in this sort of area. So I'm going to put some layering spray down, so I'm just going to put some patches, just see how that works. So I'm using the smallest hopper. I'll switch it on, and then we'll just try it, see how that works. So I'm just trying to keep it sort of around the edges where the dead grass would be. This is quite long for sort of N-gauge really. 4mm is about the limit. I'm probably putting a bit too much on there, but let's see what it looks like. I think that looks pretty good. I wouldn't have certainly got that with the other micro applicator, so I think you can just about see. So take the masking tape off. You can certainly see it standing up in that area. So I've just got it round the sort of edges, so it's not really a heavy coating. It's taken that top off the green, and so I blended that in. So really happy with that. So I'm just going to apply some bushes and so on in that area now, just to give it that rough, overgrown look. do some more, maybe some more dead grass around this edge, but I think you'd probably agree that's in a very short space of time that's made that look like quite an overgrown sort of area. So yeah, pleased with that. So welcome back onto the layout. So for those of you who haven't seen the channel before, this is my Engage layout named Westmorland, and it's based on the Settle and Carlisle railway. So since the last video, as I said, quite a bit going on, lots of bits and bobs really, but this was probably the biggest job that I undertook, and that was the fitting of this light strip which runs along the full length of the layout. And I covered the light in an earlier video, so hopefully I can put the link up in the corner. And these are basically kitchen underlights, but they clip together, so you can bank, I think, anything up to about 6 of these. So I thought it was better to possibly have individual ones rather than have 1 or 2 larger ones. And they seem really good value for money. I think they're about £12–13 each at the time from Wix. So the beauty of it is they're plugged through a mains adapter, and then they have individual switches. So as you can see on the layout below, the light is okay because I've got some spotlights in the room, but when I switch on the each of these strip lights, I think you'll see it significantly, maybe it doesn't pick it up on the camera, but it significantly improves the light on certainly on the back end of the layout. So as I go along and switch them on, as I say, you can do them, sorry if it's a bit bright on the camera, you can switch them on individually. So I can go along and literally switch on all 4, stretch over for the last one. And that makes it so much better for, I think, the camera videos, and also for working on the layout. So what we've done on the layout, apart from the light strips, I've actually fitted the back seam now. So the back seam was in place before, but I've actually glued the back seam onto these supports at the back. So you'll see these are actually screwed onto the baseboard, so I can actually remove the back seam by undoing the screws and then pulling that away. But these are actually now stuck onto these wooden supports with no nails, which I was umming and ahhing whether to do, because as you can see on the back seam, there's some, since I put it on probably 12 months ago, there's some sort of creases, or the creases have got worse for sure, particularly this one. And I think with the heat it seems to have detached itself. I used sort of a spray contact adhesive, and in hindsight I think I should have just used the self-backing adhesive that was on the back seam. But that's a job for the future. It pretty much does its job now. It's more of a detail. So what else have we done? Just going down, as you see on the video, we've just made this area look a little bit overgrown. So I'm pleased how that's turned out. I just put a couple more bushes on there and some more undergrowth, but I think that looks good now. Just got to give it a hoover up. And then the quarry area, I've not touched that since the last video. But I have done this area here, which is, you can see, is a field. So I've just put on the first coat, if you will, or first layer of 2mm, I think it's WWS Summer, and I've used the Pro Detailer again with a larger head for that. So it's only the first layer, so I'll be putting probably longer grass around the sides, bushes and so on. So as you can see, when you just use a single colour, it doesn't really have the same effect. You've got to use the different tones to get the full effect. And then coming down around the layout, I've not really done much up here. I've added some more walls. I added this one in here just to break it up, and I've just added a bit of detail. This one's painted up just to show we've not got perfect walls all the way around the layout. And I've done the put the gate in and these walls up at the top, and then there'll be a small farmhouse, and I'm going to sort out what to do up there. So that's the detail for another day. Coming down, we've finished the track off in this area now. So all this was loose before, if you remember. So all this has now been fastened down. I've put the flexi track in, and here was a banking, quite a high embankment, probably up to about here, I would say. So I've cut this down, the fascia board, and reduced the banking somewhat, and that's enabled me to put in this extra siding, this extra point and siding, which is good. That's extra storage. I think it looks more prototypical as well. With I based this layout really on this part of the layout on the Kirby Stephen station, so it's more in line with that. As you can see, I've got lots of droppers in pretty much at every point. I've put one in, or a pair. I've yet to just get some droppers. I was going to leave it, but I've yet to get some droppers on all of these lines as well. So that'll be literally the next job, just to lift those up, put the droppers on, and then fasten that down. So as I said, the banking's now been lowered, so you can just see where the stone wall is. So this is pretty much the height that I sit and view the layout. So from here you can see you do get a good scenic perspective of the track and the background scenery. So what I wanted to achieve with the layout was to give the sense that you're not seeing the full run round of the trains unless you sort of lean forward and want to see the further away track. So the idea is to be able to sit, and when you look across you can see all of the back scene, the trees in the distance, and then you'll be able to see this area, which I'm going to obviously put trees and scenery on there. And that is, I don't know if you've actually noticed from previous videos, that has been quite a major change, because before this road ran all the way down here, and then ran down into the goods yard, and right at the very end was the double engine shed, and there was another couple of tracks. I think I had some more points off here that led 2 tracks up to the engine shed. And again, to try and make the goods yard more prototypical, I've done away with the double engine shed, because there's literally, I think, bar 1, which the name doesn't spring to mind, which is a single engine shed. There's no engine facilities on the Settle Carlisle line at any of the stations. So that's a decision that I made to simplify it and keep it, again, more in line with what you see on the line itself. So coming down these 2 sidings, we've got the bay platform, and that will hold up to a couple of Mark 1s with a loco at the front. You could possibly even squeeze on another carriage if need be. And then here we've got, which is not fastened down because I've not decided on the width and the final length yet, but basically I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly even 6 cattle wagons to be able to dock there at the cattle dock. So we've got the platforms in place, so these are screwed down with each of them screwed down with 3 wood screws. And then what I've done with this platform here is I've backfilled it in with sculptor mould, and then I've just finished off with this wall, this dry stone wall. So here it's pretty much finished. Just got in some areas a little bit of patching up to do, and I've applied the weeds at the back, probably put some more bushes and things just to finish it off. So I think the final area of the lake we've not covered is at this end, and that's the where the station master's house is. So that's now finished with the walling. I've got the small front gate in place, and then there's a further gate here which leads to where the water tank is, which bit of debate at the moment whether that water tank, I like the style of the water tank. That was a kit that I made from a 3D printed kit. It was quite difficult to put together because the super glue wouldn't stick for whatever reason, but the kit's together, and I've just painted it, primed it grey, and then just applied some weathering and a little bit of rust on there to give it that weathered look. But I'm not convinced it's the right size for the layout. I think it might be too big. I think it's described as a depot water tank, and obviously mine's not an engine depot, it's just a station. So I'm thinking I might go for a smaller water tank, similar to the one that's fitted at Appleby station on the Settle Carlisle line, of which you should see a photograph coming up on the right hand side now. And I've found a Kestrel kit that will probably sort of fits the bill, and it's only about £6-7, so it will be a cheap rectification, and then I'll probably sell this. But what do you guys think? Do you think I should keep it? Do you think it's too big, or do I replace it? Because it does seem to overpower the station. And I've also planted quite a few trees, or added some trees at the back, just to try and take that height away from the water tank. And then where the water tank is located, I had put just a some fine sand down, and then just applied some PVA 50-50 mix with water just to get it to stick, and then just gone over that with some grey paint and some weathering powders, and then just put some weeds and things down. And then we just move over to this part of the lake, just show you the final part really. And this is my first attempt really at applying flowers to a tree, and the idea behind that is that that's a sort of hawthorn bush. And from my recent trip up to the Settle Carlisle line, there was an abundance of these all along the railway, and I thought a bit of inspiration. I thought I would have a go at making some. I'll probably put some more down here and maybe further down, just to show a number of hawthorn bushes. So what I used for those was a set of flower kits or a flower kit that I bought, and I'll just show you what I did with those and where I got them from. Okay, so these are the flowers that we purchased to do the hawthorn bushes. So this is the one, the white that I'd used to do the hawthorn flowers. So I purchased these from Model Scenery Supplies. I think they're about 85p a bag, which is pretty good value for money. So I've got a few colours. I'm going to probably use these for dandelions, buttercups, whatever, and then some other flowers in gardens and so on with the reds and purples. Maybe even use these for some heather as well. And then I've got these two flowers, so I've got a fuchsia and this one called bubblegum. And the idea behind this, the reason why I got these two was I'm planning to try and replicate these flowers that are on the embankments all over the Settle Carlisle line. So I think they're quite a good match. So the idea will be to try and do that using sort of the static grass applicator and create some tufts with longer lengths of strands, and then to dip those in the colours. So we'll see how that turns out. I'll certainly be filming that, and whether it's good, bad or indifferent, we'll see what they come out like. Okay, so we're on the homeward leg. So this is the last part of the update, and this is really covering what I've done with the DCC wiring. And as you can see, I've used a black and a red wire for the two droppers. So I've got these situated all around the layout, and what I use is, I don't actually solder the droppers to the track. I use these fish plate that you can buy online. So the fish plate has then got a soldered bit of wire to it, and then they've got sort of an 8-inch length of wire. So I started off using the standard sort of terminal blocks with screws, but one, it's hard to do underneath the baseboard, and you don't really know whether they're actually connected or not. So I hunted around online and found these type of connectors. So these are common connectors. So the two terminals that you see there connect together. And what I wanted to do is get a number of these. So I managed to get hold of this box at a reasonable price. I think it was about £10 off Amazon. So if I've still got the link, I can put the link up there if it's still available. And they do these in a range of 2s, 3s, 5s, and I think there's some 4s in here, maybe not. But basically the plan is to use these to connect all of the droppers to the main buzz that runs, or will run. I've not done any of the buzz yet. That will run the whole length underneath of the twin tracks that run around the layout. So what have I done so far? I've just done the first connections just to make sure they were working okay, because it's quite small wire. So I've used the 5 one in this instance. So you put the wire in, probably seen, a lot of you have seen these before, but I'm just putting it on the video, and then you strip the wire back to the bare wire, push it in, and then press the clip down. And then with the bracket that fits in here, the plan is to screw these to the underside of the baseboard. And then with the other two that are currently open, one of them I'll connect onto the buzz, the DCC buzz, and then the other one will come out of the end connection and then directly into the main Prodigy Express DCC control box. So the two wires will run into the main two track terminals. So I've not had this connected up yet, so the sooner I get the bus system or all the DCC system wired up, the better. I can get some trains running. And what I'm looking to use is this 1mm cable, and I've got the similar spec in red as well. So you'll see there's lots of wires hanging down at the moment, which I need to connect in and then run the buzz wire all around the underside of the twin tracks. So that's what I've done on the DCC. After some advice for you guys who obviously use DCC, from me connecting from here into the main controller, I've seen online that there's some potential protection circuits, and just after some advice really, do I need to fit something, or with it being such a small layout with probably, I don't know, 20 droppers of red and 20 droppers of black, do I really need protection on there, and with this particular system? So I'm not electrical really in any great shape or form, so any advice would be welcome there. So yeah, that was the last subject I wanted to cover on the layout, and that's pretty much it now. So I would like to say thanks for watching. I certainly don't plan to leave it as long till the next time. Thanks to all the subscribers, and any new ones that have come on board. Hopefully you'll enjoy over the next few months when I do all this scenery and get the DCC system running. Should be a lot more filming of me actually doing the work rather than just talking about it, you'd be glad to hear. But at the moment, that was the only real option I had. But yeah, so thanks again, and I'll see you soon, and hopefully I'll have some trains running the next time you come. So thanks again from Settle Carlisle 68, and take care. Cheers, bye.